The largest population of African Americans and Latinos in the state, with blacks making up nearly 40% of the city and Latinos fastly growing group in the state. These minority groups tend to lean more Democratic than Republican. So when they head to the polls, they vote that way. But I wanted to talk to Republicans within these demographics to learn what introduced them to the party and what mattered most to them.
I just start following the Republican debates.
Chris Lawrence is a proud conservative voter.
When you first become a Republican, you kind of think like, oh, well, what is wrong with Chris? Like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm the same person.
He admits conversations during family dinner have had its challenges.
My whole entire family is, they think opposite of me, just for the most part, especially my mother. Yes, my mother. But the conversations are friendly. I talk to my mom all the time, love her to death. Right. She's a diehard Democrat. I know how she's voting. She does agree with me on one issue, and that's education choice and freedom. But everything else, we sort of, you know, clash on a little bit.
Once a Democrat, he says his views changed while in college, and he began getting more involved in state politics and the tenets of the GOP.
If you focus on economic prosperity and how you can improve somebody's life, significantly improve their lives, or substantially, you know, in any way improve their lives, especially their financial lives, it's what at the front of issues. The number one issue for voters is the economy.
Looking back at the Republican Party's history with black voters, in the 1930s, it was not hard to find this voting bloc split between two parties. But a significant shift happened after President Truman desegregated the military and President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Both Democratic presidents. Today, black Americans make up 1% of the Republican Party.
We were some of the first people who founded the Republican Party.
Last year, Keva Turner ran for District 14 state representative as a Republican. For her, the choice was simple.
For me, a change is needed at this point because I don't consider myself necessarily a politician. I'm just an average person who wants to see that change. I want the change more than anything.
In Milwaukee County,
so this is when I was first elected as chairman.
Hilario Deleon is the GOP county party chairman. At 22 years old, the youngest to hold the position in the Midwest.
I hit the ground running day one, right after the election.
Deleon says his introduction to the Republican Party was its rich history during the country's Civil War. But it was former President Trump that sealed the deal.
Then candidate Trump came down the escalator. I sat there, I listened to the whole speech. I felt that a lot of his words were taken out of context by people afterwards, but what he was saying were the same things that I kept hearing from different people as I was starting to dive more and more into politics.
With Milwaukee hosting the RNC convention in less than 12 months, Chris, Keva, and Hilario look forward to supporting the Republican presidential nominee, no matter who comes out on top.